This is the scariest ghost story you've never heard of. In a quiet suburban neighborhood in Enfield, England, the Hodgson family moved into a two-story council house in August 1977. Peggy Hodgson was a single mother of 4 children, two of whom, Janet, 11, and Margaret, 13, would soon find themselves at the center of a terrifying haunting. At first, it was just strange things happening around the house. Then it escalated into terrifying, seemingly supernatural activity. It started subtly, like when the family would hear chairs sliding across the floor when no one was there. Toys would fly across the room, and at night they'd hear loud banging and see kitchen cupboards fling open by themselves. At times, the house shook violently, as if an earthquake had struck, and the family found it hard to make sense of what was happening. Then Janet started having experiences of her own. She told her mother she felt a cold presence with her at night and heard strange knocking and tapping sounds coming from the walls, almost as if someone were trying to communicate with them. At first, the family just put it down to an overactive imagination. But then the strange phenomena started to escalate. Peggy began to notice that objects would move on their own. Sometimes she'd be sitting in a chair and it would suddenly slide across the floor. Other times, heavy objects like the television would fall off their stands and crash to the ground. And it wasn't just Janet who experienced these strange happenings. Other members of the family, especially Margaret, also witnessed objects moving on their own and heard unexplained voices and footsteps. And then there were the knocks. They came at all hours of the day and night and always seemed to be in a particular sequence, almost like a code. At first, they were just random taps, but then they started to form a pattern. Eventually, they became so frequent and persistent that the family couldn't take it anymore. In desperation, they contacted the police, who visited the house to investigate. But when they arrived, they, too, heard strange knocking sounds and saw chairs move on their own. Unable to explain what they were witnessing, the police called in paranormal investigators from the Society for Psychical Research to see if they could shed some light on the mystery. And what they found was truly terrifying. Over the next few weeks, the team set up cameras and recording equipment to capture any evidence of strange activity. And it didn't take long for the strange phenomena to start occurring again. Furniture was seen levitating, heavy objects were moved with no visible cause, and the ghostly voice continued to taunt the family. The investigators were able to capture it all on camera, including one particularly disturbing incident where a heavy wardrobe was seen moving across the room by itself. But the scariest part of the haunting was yet to come. While staying at the house during the investigation, one of the team members, Guy Playfair, was awoken in the middle of the night by strange scratching sounds coming from the hallway. He got out of bed to investigate and saw a white, shapeless figure moving toward him. Too terrified to move, he watched as the apparition approached him, and then it vanished. What was the source of these terrifying events? To this day, no one is 100% sure. Some skeptics have suggested that Janet may have been exaggerating or even faking some of the events. After all, she was a teenager and the attention she was getting from the media was probably quite exciting. However, this theory doesn't explain why other adults in the house also witnessed strange and unexplainable occurrences. The Enfield poltergeist is still considered one of the most famous documented poltergeist cases in the world. And it's one of the most studied paranormal cases of all time. There are eyewitness accounts, audio recordings, and photographs that back up much of the story. In 2016, the events inspired the horror film The Conjuring 2, which starred Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who were called in to help the Hodgson family. However, Hollywood took many liberties with the story for the sake of entertainment. So what really happened in Enfield? If you ask me, I don't know. What do you think happened at the Enfield poltergeist? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And while you're at it, subscribe for more videos like these. Thanks for watching.